The book I would like to present you tonight is The Life and Games of Akiva Rubinstein, Volume 1, Uncrowned King. Now, this book has nearly 500 games, I think 492. It's true, Rubinstein, that we can see here, because this is Lasker, was never able to achieve the World Championship title, also if he was surely as strong as Capablanca. The problem is that sometimes there are some unforeseen circumstances in life. For Rubinstein, I think World War One and then clearly World War Two that brought him totally off track, unfortunately. With that said, I would like to start to present you some games from this book. There is also a volume 2, so eventually I will do also that later. So the game I would like to show you tonight is Rubinstein versus Janowski. In this case, Rubinstein loses. It was played in Ostende, a famous tournament, on June 8, 1906. Guys, clearly it's a very interesting thing, because you see, of Ostende we just have this kind of table that doesn't tell you all the results, but the author did do their duty in try to find us everything they could, okay? So this is why this book is really great. Rubinstein plays d4, d5. The notes to the game are by Lasker, because Lasker had a chess magazine in which he published games from tournaments and commented them, annotated them. Knight f3, knight f6, e3, c5, c4, e6, knight c3, and d take c4, bishop takes c4, and here there is e6. So clearly black wants to expand on the queen side. Obviously you cannot let black do that, so what do? a4, knight c6. The problem of a4 is that it gives immediately a kind of outpost to black, right? If he's able to keep c5. Let's see what happens. Castle. Imagine, I didn't see this game, but it was logical. Night before was so logical. And this is also, guys, why you need to watch games, because the games will open your eyes to typical maneuvers, outposts, and especially to understand in which square a piece should go. Here there is a note by the authors of the book that says the beginning of an interesting plan, Lasker assessment, but a risky one associated with delayed castling. So Janowski is what we would say at risk, because he's leaving the king in the center. If you have seen games by, I don't know, Kasparov, Gukesh, Caruana, all of them in the beginning, when they are on the road of Grandmaster, they are really lethal. If you leave the king in the center one move more than needed, you lose it. So that's also an interesting thing that you want to check out, because that will open your eyes, okay? So after knight b4, white plays queen e2, and black continues with b6. Now b6 support this, but as you can see, the problem was how to develop the light square bishop. So b6 allows to do this, okay? So that's the important part. Rook d1. As you can see also, white has a problem to develop this, okay? And after rook d1, immediately, as you can see it over and over, so this is something that you can keep in mind, black plays queen c7. So you can notice in old games, because 1906 is more than 100 years ago, or in new games, grandmaster level, they immediately remove the queen from the file where the rook is developed. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. White at this point still has this piece to develop. We are at move 11, so obviously he plays e4. C takes d4, knight takes d4, and now black needs also to develop a piece. Again, guys, notice how in the opening they try to develop while attacking something. So bishop c5. And now it's white turn. Here he should have played probably knight b3. And of course then f3 and bishop e3. Okay, knight b3 is to remove the bishop pair, or if black moves that, you play f3 because you prevent knight g4 and then you develop this. Okay, instead white played bishop g5. Now the Lasker, for example, put a dubious mark to this move. Why this move is dubious? Because you are not going to take bishop takes f6. And you say, why? Why? It would double the pawns. Yeah, it would double the pawns, but it would open the g file in front of your king. So you are not going to give your opponent such an advantage. If they want to open a file, they need to work for that, okay? Sorry, I have to pause for a second because I'm cooking. Okay, we can continue. So that's the reason why bishop g5 wasn't a good move, because you're not going to take on f6. Meanwhile, and this is another reason also, guys, generally when you develop a piece, you want to develop in the right square, so you don't have to move it again and again. g5 in this position is not the right square. Black continue with bishop b7, rook a c1, x-ray at that queen, rook d8. As you can see, black is not castling, because if he would castle, yes, it would be a problem and he would take, but he is not castling, right? Knight b3, attacking the bishop c5, rook takes d1, rook takes d1, and finally bishop d6. Here white played a very interesting move, very interesting, a5, and Lasker wrote a very deep conception which would have been much stronger the next move, for example after g3. So play this and then this, he says. Okay, what do you think black played? As you can see, in my opinion, guys, is more important to do this exercise than 100 tactics. Why? Because here you have a real situation which happened in a game. And there is no force move, no? You need to decide what you want to do. Do you want to take? Do you want to take here? What do you want to do? In the game, Black played a very interesting move, which is b5. Now, ask yourself what White will play, because you will be a little surprised. Obviously, White cannot play bishop d3 because you take on h2, okay? So, what do you think he played? White played bishop takes b5. Boom. A takes b5. Knight takes b5. Bishop takes h2. And after rook h1, Black played queen b8. So here there is a diagram, and what does it mean? That in this situation White is in a critical position. So when there is a diagram, you have to stop. In this case, you have to do the exercise for White. How should White continue? The authors analyze g3, which is not good, and obviously they give a line. Then they analyze bishop takes f6, g takes f6, also not good because White will be checkmated, and you can do your own analysis or eventually buy the book and you will see it. Then they also analyze f4, because the idea is always to cut these two, right? But also that doesn't work. And then they analyze knight c5, okay? Well, of all these moves that I gave you, none of them is good. And this is the interesting part, I think. There was a last move, queen c4, which was found by a player of that period, who was called Marco. White makes the situation quite complicated. With this move, he maybe doesn't get an advantage, but is better than the other. So can you imagine, guys? There were at least 4 possible continuation here, and that's why I tell you it's more exciting to study a game like this. g3, f4, knight c5, bishop takes f6, in which White gets checkmated. So we have at least 4 continuations which are wrong. And this is the real work that you have to do in a tournament game, because you will have all this continuation, not like in the tactic trainer where everything is forced. So in any case, Rubinstein found the wrong move. And can you imagine, in 1906 he was strong. And yet he found the wrong move, which was queen d2. Okay? Queen d2, probably the idea is bishop takes f6, queen d7 check, I think. I don't know. Here it doesn't say why he played this move. It's possible also that you can play this and cut off this. So as you can see, queen d2 has a meaning behind, but they say it's not good. Let's see why. Knight a6, bishop takes f6, g takes f6, queen d7, king f8, g3, bishop takes g3, f takes g3, and here what would you have played if you were Black? Black played bishop takes e4, king h2, king g7, knight 3 d4, and again, what would you have played if you were black? Because again, here it's easy to spot the so-called critical moments for black, because they put an exclamation point, which means good move. So black at this point played queen e5, and here Rubinstein blundered, but in the book say there is no defense. So he played knight d6. Obviously there is queen h5, king g1, and queen takes d1, and here Rubinstein resigned. I hope you enjoyed this brief game by the book The Life and Games of Akiva Rubinstein, Volume 1. I want to show you guys more games from this book because again there are more than 492, so we can learn about this great player. Thank you very much for watching.